Press and enter and done. All the social media set up and software testing is complete. Electronic payment system's ready. It's all working, Julian. Where go, buddy?
Fucking way, Buzz. You know what? You are the fucking man, buddy.
Oh, I know I'm the fucking man. I mean, I honestly don't think there's a snowball's chance of fucking hell this business is gonna work, but did my best. Here we go.
Electricians, dishwashers, floor cleaners, lawyers, doctors, fucking politicians, CBC employees, principals, people that paint the lawns on the fucking roads. Get stoned, it'll be fun, get to work.
Feature! We're back! We're here. We're live, dude. We're live again. Out here on the airwaves from the high desert, dude. How's it feel to be back with our people? Playing back with the tribe.
Feels great.
I too.
It's our destiny.
I too think it feels great. It is destiny. It is destiny. You know, I've realized something I'm lacking in my life. I think a lot of people are lacking, frankly. The feeling of a tribe. And that's what I just want to be here to bring you, dude. So we can all come together. And that's why this is called Gather or Scatter now. I'm throwing out all the stupid panel shit. I'm going to talk about specific things and have people on here to talk about things that they are passionate about, believe, and can explain thoroughly. But I want the people to gather. To stop splitting apart, stop creating fake walls between each other, things that just get in the way. Just aggravate me day to day. The fact is, when you look at anybody else, you're looking at a mirror. Anything you dislike about them is something you have disliked in yourself. Anything you admire about them is something that you would admire if you had those traits. It's always a mirror, every time. Always leading back to the objective reality, the absolute, which is God. And the only way that we can figure that part out is that energy that's between us. You can never hold on to it. It's like, what am I? I'm not my cells of my body. I'm not my thoughts. All of these things are changing constantly. All I really am is what I am to you. What I truly am to myself. And it is that thing between us. When we're putting ideas back and forth and we're understanding one another, that's where we come to objective reality, something a little less subjective than our fractured perspectives individually. We get something a little closer to the truth. And that is God all the time. Whatever you want to call it. I'm here, and that's what we're here for tonight. And as long as we're doing this nonsense, is to define these things and to speak authoritatively about it. I feel like I've earned that right. Not by ranting on the internet, but by reading a bunch of stupid religious texts on acid. It's what I did. It worked. So Yakov here, with my co-host Flame Upon her, Brother Flame.
Greetings.
What's up,
How are
man?
y'all doing?
Tell him, people. Give him a whoop whoop. I want whoop whoops in the chat. That's right. That's right. We are here to focus on whatever you want to call it, spirituality, metaphysics maybe, but still get some of the paranormal in. We're gonna get some fucking drug talk, because guess what? We're shamans now. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Drug talk is included. I want to talk about music too. I want to bring music heavier into this whole thing. Now, the opening song that you heard was my boy Alien Perspective. He used to be at Alien Perspective on Twitter. Suspended into hell. He was actually one of my first friends on Facebook back when it was just anarchists and wizards, dude. Back in the day. So we're gonna feature a lot of his music here, and I've got a very limited playlist right now, but I got it in the works. I know musicians now, man. I went to the gathering. I know all the hardcore rappers. God damn it. We're gonna get everyone involved in this damn thing. Up in the top of the screen, you do see whatever's playing in the background will be listed there for you. And if that's not loud enough, the music isn't loud enough, you fucking let me goddamn know.
We're gonna see the chat.
Wherever streams are found, my friend. Wherever quality content can be sold and bought at a reasonable price. The donation, like if you want to give an offering to the plate, if you want to put something in that, if you want to pass that donation plate around, you go to that link. Be found in the description or whatever, dude. You go there, dude. You gotta pass that plate around, dude. Make sure everyone gets a little bit of it. Yeah, what the fuck was I talking about? So yeah, we got Alien Perspective happening. I've got more of Serious Sires, which people might remember from previous streams. We got more of that going. In talks with Humble Among to get some beats dropping here, dude. And if anybody knows any musicians, what I'm trying to do is find actual artists who are actually doing good things, who aren't heard enough, and I would like to feature them. That would make me very happy. So if anyone out there listening knows anybody, is that person, you reach out to me.
Spotlights. We throw your fucking shit into the void of the internet.
That's right. The fucking echo chamber, never to be heard from again. Into the saturated market that is this shithole or whatever.
No, but like the idea behind this is also like we want to get into the festival scene personally, like have our hand in it and creating new shit. The thing is that we want musicians that we also know to play at these too. So I mean, there's the gigs and the work.
Yeah, that's true. I think the first step is going to be find people who are already playing these gigs and get our goddamn foot in the door. But we're doing that already. Me and brother Doro, some people might recall, we went to a fest recently where I was talking to some sound guy, the guy running the fucking thing, and laying down my whole plan here, which is to have these podcasts going, sell some merch in the podcast. Now I've been doing like tie-dye shirts, I've been bleach tie-dyeing and shit. I got a fucking heat press. I'm gonna start making my own merch, cutting out the middleman. Teespring can fuck itself, essentially. And then I would like to go to these fests. I want to get in them. I want to do seminars there, and then we can record these. We could stream them. I'm not sure how all that would work. My guy is adamant that it would work under his supervision. So then at the fest, you sell merch. You fucking take pictures. You do cool shit, and then you use those pictures of people wearing your merch, looking cool, doing cool stuff, us out and about, and use that to market online harder for the podcast. And then the podcast lets people know about the festivals, and the festivals let people know about the podcast, and all the while, people can buy cool fucking tie-dye merch, right? You got the bots in the Twitch chat already. That's interesting.
Dude, look at this big-ass fucking shroomy.
Eat that boy.
Dude, this one weighs at least like 4 G's. This probably kill an ego right here.
That's not enough to take in silent darkness. You actually have to have all sound blaring. You have to listen to black metal, have full blast.
I don't know if I should eat it right now. What does chat say? Eat that shit.
Eat that shit. You know what they would say at the gathering?
Uh-huh.
They would say, eat that shit. Eat that shit. I can't eat none of that shit right now. Here to talk about other people's experiences with that shit.
I feel like I want to eat it, but it's a little too late for me to eat it.
So gather or scatter is a reference to something the guy who taught me the Bible used to say, and that was he always wanted to do something with that name. So I'm using a lot of his ideas in all of this. We're trying to. This is a little bit of a legacy, a little bit of a tribute, and yeah. So he used to tell me that people don't like to talk about the devil because they don't like to look at themselves in the mirror. I find that is more and more true. People don't want to look at their faults ever. They always want to blame somebody else. And, you know, as I go on with all of these thoughts in my reading, meditation, mysticism, whatever you want to call it, it's like, who are you trying to fool? You know what I mean? It's like, why would you give these people so much power over you? And it's like simply knowing. It's like you don't realize that they're all an aspect of you. There's no reason to be afraid. And we're all healing together. Everybody's in this like desperate struggle for control. There's none really to be had in today's society. Like it's not there mostly. And even the people who have the most control, the people who maybe we see as having the most control or think that they're just like, you know, the whole world is their chess pieces. Like, these are the people with the most problems, actually. People who actually have no idea who they really are because they never really had to live a single day in their lives. These are the people who, when they look in the mirror, they're terrified of what they see. And they see a stranger, someone wearing a mask. They don't know what's under the mask.
And people are afraid of what they'll see. I have said that during one of these interviews I did at the gathering of the Juggalos. I remember saying that to the guy giving me the T-shirt, which I was entirely grateful for. It was a dank T-shirt, Jesus Saves Juggalos T-shirt.
You know he do.
Yeah. But they like. I think that's also like why there's a lot of friction between a lot of people too, is because sometimes when they like a bully, he probably wants to pick on a certain aspect of something that somebody is, or like they're projecting or something.
It's always projection, it seems. That's how it always feels.
Yeah, it's what they do. You know, like it's funny how it plays out like that. There's a lot of irony in the universe.
Well, I find that when people want to talk smack about me, the first thing they do is criticize my what they'll see something I have that they don't have and criticize that as if it's not good enough. So all the while, I know that it is their insecurity entirely that they are criticizing. They're criticizing themselves and don't even realize it. That's how the whole world is, honestly, is you're just interacting with yourself. Everything you see, all of material reality, it's just the way it decodes in your mind. I think what makes us, frankly, what makes material reality, is immaterial. Like, the immaterial spawns the material. Modern science would have you think it's the other way around, but like really,
metaphysics. Or
it was
something?
consciousness that gave rise to material existence, needing somewhere to express itself. So the thing is, everything you experience is just a construct of your own reality. When you touch things, when you touch material, like there's nothing there. These are just like empty electrons and shit fucking pushing back on one another. Now, I'm not the guy to explain all this crap, but my point is that the reality that your mind decodes is not the objective reality and is not the one that others share. Right? And then we can get into like multiple truths, like, but the thing is, you know, some things, when I say like truth is a gray area, that things are subjective, people kind of recoil at that because they're immediately thinking of like murder and rape and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you can find stuff that's like obviously objective, where it's obvious. But the things we deal with in our day-to-day are not obvious. It's almost never obvious what's the right and wrong answer. Right?
Oh, what do you mean by that? Explain.
Well, the things you go... Okay, so it's like, all right, I'm having problems with someone I work with. So now it's like, what's the proper way? Do I just be quiet to them? I just like ignore them? Or do I go and try to strike conversations knowing full well that we don't get along and this could be shitty? And I'm just thinking like a random minute example. But I think this minutia, like that's where the war in heaven takes place, right? Like that's where good battles evil. You don't have the opportunity to go out and stop some, you know, huge evil from occurring. You're not that guy. Even the guys who think they're that guy are not that guy. You know, it's all a mask.
The mundane existence of life.
And in these little moments where it's like, this sucks, I want to change it, you don't know how to do that. You can think of about 3 different possibilities off the top of your head that could possibly improve it, or maybe it'll just make it shittier. And even the things that are like, it's so obvious that this is the right thing. I'm obviously doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Then it's like that shit can go bad too. It often does. You've no control over it whatsoever. So that's another, like, it's just like give up control. But in like the morality of your everyday, things are not so black and white, and it's clear that it's just so subjective. Our own minds are creating our own reality. It's all confusion. It's all a lie. It's all an illusion. It's only past that with the death of ego. People bring up ego death a lot with drugs, and obviously that's a thing, but there's other ways to go about it. And the thing is, nobody lives with their ego dead. Nobody's going around being my ego is dead.
No, it always comes back. That's the thing. It's like the cycle of reincarnation, rebirth, and stuff like that. Like in little aspects, like your ego, like even down to the cell. They say we lose our cells every 7 days or something like that. We're basically not the same human. Not only at a cellular level, it's at a spiritual level, at a mental level as well.
How much of the shit you believe now did you believe 10 years ago? Some of it. Not all of it, right?
No, not really.
Constantly changing. The only place you exist is in the hearts and minds of other people, the people you deal with day to day. I think that's a big part of why angels unaware is said in the Bible, and it's about like you never know who you're dealing with. It might be an angel of God. You don't know what it is. And that's the thing, is like, I think some days you're an angel of God. Other days you look in the mirror and you definitely see the devil.
That's why it's like the fruit of their actions, like, that's the thing, is like we fall short sometimes. we sin. Like, you know, me for one, my shadow is something of earthly pleasures and stuff like that. That I had to, you know, abstain from. You know, like we can't like overindulge ourselves in it. It's not realistic as well sometimes to like prohibit some things because you know sometimes that might exacerbate the problem. You know, like but it's like certain things like you have to have control over.
Sometimes the best control is letting go of control. It's only when you can let go of control that you actually have control.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, it's just a struggle. You're fucking holding on. Ah! Right?
Yeah, it's definitely with I see that a lot with a lot of people, especially when I talk about like psychedelics and stuff like that. They a lot of them are definitely do want to try it, but like they have like the fear of losing control. It's always like something. It's always people who have like a like growing up, they had issues with control. Like sometimes maybe there were situations in their life that they were so helpless that that's ingrained within them, like this feeling like they have to have control 24/7. It's hard for them to give that up. Their inhibitions and stuff like that.
It's helplessness, and I mean, I think that's it's just in the day-to-day anxiety that everybody feels, and like that's why pharmaceuticals and modern medicine, modern psychology, or whatever, it can't confront these things, because they are literally existential dread in the face of objective reality that you are not at all, you know, empowered to even comprehend. Everything about society says the opposite. Then here you are, and you eat a bunch of psychedelics, and suddenly, like, wow. Like, not only is the grass breathing, but I am the grass breathing. And it's like, I don't know. When you feel these things, like, you can't really deny them. You can fight it. And see, but this is why most of society they do think I'm insane. People who know me think I'm insane. You can't talk about that stuff with normal people. So if you're not the type of person who's just going to, let me just tell you all my stupid shit like me.
But that's like the mystical mindset. Like modern society has no use for that. Modern society has the idea of a very archaic view of like psychedelics. You know, it's changing. You got states now like decriminalizing and stuff like that, but like still like overall the society as a whole is very weary of these things because the society as a whole has control issues. Society as a whole has trauma. So.
Yeah. There was a time, you know, in the 60s when everyone was idealistic, that people really thought fucking like LSD and mushrooms were gonna like you know, lead to the awakening and save the world and shit. It's like, no, like you can't even explain to you can't explain to other people what the fuck you just experienced. You can't even do that. You can't even tell them what the fuck. You're like, whoa, dude, whoa, man. After you tripping balls, dude, the fucking moon cracks in half, a piece of it flies down at you, and dude, like the things you experience on psychedelics, you can't even express them to other people. They're just for you. That's like the cosmic joke of it all, dude. There are times, man, I've eaten mushrooms. I've laid there laughing for 5 hours, laughing my ass off, crying, laughing, my face just in pain, laughing so hard. At the end of it, I can't remember what I'm laughing about, and that's the funniest thing of all. Is like, that's just a gift to me. Nobody else will ever experience exactly what I just experienced. Right? And it's like, it's the same thing when I'm out there. I'm like tripping balls, and man, I'm looking at the sky, and I'm all alone, and I'm in the woods. I'm looking at the trees, man. The wind's blowing on me. I look at the moon, and I'm like, man, if nobody else is looking at this, is this just for me? It's yes, like, these are the gifts. This is what you give yourself. And if you can't be happy with that, you'll never be happy.
I feel you, man.
Yeah. We got Scar in the chat. We
Okay.
missing notifications out here, dude. We trying, YouTube trying, man. They're trying to get my back. I'm in the conference call with YouTube also on the other end. I got them on hold while I do this. Trying to get a
What's up,
good deal.
Spud?
Scar,
Good.
Sped. What else we got? Plunit Zero, Doobie in the chat. Let's lay down our fucking belief systems where we're at right now. I would like to do that. It's probably worth doing. I've always been a weirdo who kind of, I started out just reading the Bible. I read the Bible cover to cover when I was 18. I feel like I got a pretty good grasp of it. I sat there with my concordance next to it, looking up, like, you know, each word, not each word, but anytime there was something interesting, I'd look at the Hebrew word. I'd look at the Greek word. I'd start, you know, comparing that in other texts. So that's where I began. And then I met somebody who, the guy who taught me the Bible, Stealth Fighter was his name for a long time. That's what he went by. I showed up at his house the first time, and he handed me like a quarter of some weed that he grew in his cellar, and he gave my buddy like a handful of mushrooms that he grew. That was like my first interaction with him, and it was a good time. Yeah, he taught me everything I know about like Bible prophecy, all my weird takes on that. It's basically why I'm not Trinitarian at all. Why I don't really jive well with like Pauline philosophy. It's a lot, you know. And not to shit on Paul. I'm not a guy who shits on the Apostle Paul. I don't do that. A lot of people go around doing that. I see no flaw in his character, in his writing. However, I do see all of the mystical side of Christianity was removed at some point. And it does seem to me it was the Orthodox Church at the time, and Islam, both in combination. They basically stamped out the entirety of mystical Christianity. And I think that's a great loss because I didn't come to that side of things. Like, it's all, when you're in Christianity, it's not like Judaism and even Islam. It's all very legalistic. When you're in like the modern iterations of these religions, it is so legalistic to the point you don't even realize what the fuck you're missing because it's never about your relationship with God. Protestants try to do it based on Orthodox, you know, and Catholic precepts. When I say Orthodox, I basically mean, you know, the church that
Referring to the Catholic Church.
I am. I'm talking about the whole of Christianity we know, essentially.
But like the thing is like I see a lot of the mystical traditions like in Eastern Orthodoxy, but like it is very zealot.
I'm not saying it's not there, but it's to the point where if you just go into it as a normal person, you could just never see it. You could just totally miss it completely. I think that it's the same way most Catholics are. I think there's mystical tenets in Roman Catholicism. You're never going to hear about it unless you do some serious digging.
Yeah.
And that's basically my gripe with this whole thing. I think Orthodox Christianity, like, they stomped out all of these sects of mystical Christianity, and then they stole all of their beliefs and all of their texts, and they put them in some like locked away library in a vault somewhere. Now the Jesuits practice it because they're fuckheads. That's how it seems to me.
A conspiracy, yeah. They want to win the game of civilization.
When I look at these other branches of Christianity that existed far before Roman Christianity was established, they already existed for generations, it seemed. And there is this idea of Christ as your twin, and that's often what he's getting at. Is that like we are the same, and it's when you realize that you gain, you know, all of my power and knowledge. It's because we all are children of God. We are all sons of God. And his entire creation and everything that he is exists within us. It's hidden. It's a game of hide and seek. First you hide, and he seeks you. Then he hides. You have to seek him for the rest of your life.
Hey, we have Havelock. He asks, what is your take on the Gnostic and the Demiurge?
Well, I guess that gets to where I'm going with what I'm saying about mysticism here, is that this stuff was alive and well in the Christian tradition, alive and well in the words of Jesus. But it's not to be found in the West now. Now you have to look at the East, to be honest, to find these sorts of ideas. that's where the synthesis with like Hinduism, I don't know what to call it. Like I'm very influenced by a lot of strains of what we would call Hinduism, but like or Hare Krishna's Hindu. It's all
one
sure
thing
they
I
are,
do
whatever.
one thing I do want to throw out there is one thing
I didn't get to my point about the demiurge yet.
Oh, go on. I'll tell you after this.
So, in Hinduism, there is this idea of Maya. Also in Buddhism, a lot of Eastern philosophies, Jainism, I think. This idea of Maya, illusion, that the entirety of material existence is an illusion, that it's all just there to trick you, essentially. I think this, when you start to think about all of these ideas, like it goes back to self and it goes back to the absolute that's within us. Now, I think what that implies is that when we realize that and mindfully act on it, I mean, just doing your duty, when you start doing that, then you are God creating on earth. Well, the flip side of that is that when you're out here running around blind, you are the devil. You are the demiurge. You are the demons that build our material prison. It's us. I think, and now this doesn't jive with all of Gnosticism. Gnosticism's also a weird thing. I don't think the label means much. It goes back to these early Christian sects. A lot of them were just called Gnosticism broadly, when it's pretty clear that they all there's many that believed all sorts of different things.
Yeah, I was about to point that out because it's kind of like the Protestant and baptisms and all that shit, all the different denominations. You also have different sects of Gnosticism that teach the either similar or blatantly opposite things of one another.
Well, when you look at the Gospel of Judas, which is like a classic Gnostic text, it talks all sorts about all these esoteric ideas that seem to have arisen much later.
A lot of name throwing.
Yeah, well, you have terms like Barbelo, which is like a waiting room of spirits, and you'll have like Yaldabaoth or whatever. I don't know all these words off the top of my head. I think they're sort of frivolous, but that's like the name of like the demiurge.
The blind god.
So
yeah,
I'm not into all of this stuff really, but now you also find the Gospel of Thomas lumped in with the Gnostic literature. I can't for the life of me figure out why. I read the Gospel of Thomas, and here's some stuff from the Gospel of Thomas. 2 men sit on a couch. One lives, one dies. That's it. These are the words of Jesus. It's a book of literally just the words of Jesus. What the hell does something like that mean? Something so simple doesn't obviously make sense. When you look at it with the eyes of the mystic, it does make sense. There was only one man. You are discerning two where there is only one. That's what that book is about. And 75% of the Gospel of Thomas is actually found, his sayings are actually found in the canonical Gospels. So people ask, like, why is it even necessary? It gives an entire different concept. The whole context is totally different. So you have just this other perspective to see Jesus from. People like to talk about, like, heretical, this and that. I mean, it's like whatever I believe in, we call the heretics. So why bother? Why even bother? But the fact is, this is why I love Jesus so much. When you start looking for Jesus, he shows himself to you in a way that's just tailor-made for you. And he's always human. He can be a warrior. He can be a priest. He can be a shaman. He can be a hippie. He can be any of these things and all of these things. He is all things to all men. And that's what people, when you're going out there and you're trying to make these points, you have to be all things to all men. You can't look at this from one perspective, because you're going to find yourself, if you're this, I don't know, orthodoxy, this fundamentalist, you're just going to find yourself in like bad faith debates. Once again, building walls, looking into mirrors and not recognizing who you see. But if you go at it like, fitting to their thing, you can fit it. And that's what I'm personally good at. Like, I can talk to some sort of any kind of Christian, any Christian, and I can use Christian language. And at the same time, I'm getting across, like, you know, mystic ideas that are generally only found in the East now. And that's the only way to reach people. And god damn it, I really do want to help people. That's what I'm out here for. It's impossible. And what am I doing when I'm out here trying to help people? I'm trying to help myself.
We're like the need that we are trying to fulfill, and you know, like we want to create that tribe. You know, like you know, like that brotherhood and shit like that. And you know, we have. Like, when I met Yakov the first time I'm meeting these random ass motherfuckers off the internet, and I looked at both of them, I was like, yo, I'm gonna follow you guys to the gates of hell, like, wherever you guys go and go, and you know what, like, that's where the adventure is, that's where the fun is, and like, if we want to have that, share that with a lot of people need that in their lives, they need to find themselves too.
Dude, the feeling, yeah, it's like nothing in the world to me. I'm out, we're at this festival, this last one. Doro's there, bring my girlfriend along. We're out in middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania. Just at some hippie music festival. I eat a bunch of mushrooms. I should not be eating this many mushrooms in public. I am a lunatic. I start channeling entities, having visions. I'm an insane person. But here's the thing, we were having a great time. I was tripping balls. I was fucking cutting up limes with tequila. It was like Fear and Loathing, dude. Swinging a knife around, just like going back and forth from laughing maniacally to like crying my eyes out. Just pure bliss. Now, it was getting late midnight, and my girlfriend ate some mushrooms too. And we had some fun, dude. We were just messing around. We had a great time, dude. And the next thing you know, fucking Doro's banging on the door of the hotel room. So I open that up. So there's like this homeless boxcar lady standing there. And I don't know what's going on. I'm like half naked. I'm tripping my face off, wasted. My girlfriend naked in the bed still. And suddenly she just starts talking about how much she loves Jesus. And it was the best thing. If we would blast, everyone's fucking, you know, shooting the shit for a minute, and then people leave, and I'm laying there in bed with my girlfriend. Everything is so calm, but all around, all down the hallway, you can hear it. Just hear people having a good time, like speaking how they fucking really feel. Some guy with a fucking banjo just screwing around on it, and it's like that's my tribe. It's like that's what I'm missing, and our friends are too far away, our family's too far away. You couldn't even relate to these people if you wanted to half the time. But the thing is, people are out there. They're really out there. And like I'll spend like $1,000 to go to the gathering of the Juggalos, dude, and I have a great time and I get some tribe. The fact of the matter is, the feeling that I'm looking for, totally free. Didn't cost a dime. Bunch of bullshit costed money to get those people together.
Yeah.
I want that. I want it all the time, and I want it to be free. There's nothing more peaceful, man. There's nothing. Just to hear, you know, because when I hear that banjo down the hall, man, I know my friends are all right. I know my homie's doing good, you know? Otherwise, he wouldn't be playing that banjo. You know, if he wasn't breathing, he wouldn't be playing that fucking thing. I know he's cool. He's safe. That makes me fucking happy. And it's something I don't get here. I don't get it. It pisses me off.
Yeah, it's just the mindset of people.
Yeah, Fun Guy Folium in the chat. Y'all done found the Peyote Road. I haven't found that yet. I've been looking for it. Officer, I'm out here looking for it. Yeah, peyote is like one of the only drugs that I haven't done. I feel like I've done all other drugs. It's easier to list the ones... Yeah. It's easier to list the ones I haven't done. Let me tell you that. I haven't smoked crack, but I have vaped cocaine. Does that qualify? I don't know.
Are you free-based? Free-basing cocaine.
Where you at in all this? What's your perspective on the tribe and the purpose?
Dude, like I've been reading, I've been being big-headed myself. Being big-headed recently, reading psychology books and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like they're basic needs that people need. And one thing is people are lacking is that intimacy. I'm not saying like kissing and shit. I'm talking about like that connection. The connection.
This thing that exists between us that we can't grab, that makes everything a little more objective.
Yeah, dude. And like that's the need for like the tribe, for people to come together, like the gathering and all these things.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Give me your rundown on reality. What's the nature of reality? What do you believe in?
Reality.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
What's the shaman think?
I don't know, man. I just take it as it comes, man.
Dude,
Like,
I just fucking chop water and carry wood, dude. I don't know.
dude, fucking. Look, this is right now unpunished flame. All right, this is what flame looks like after the tanker level, like the fucking the outer haven just got bombed. This punished flame. You see this? I fucking broke my hand.
And this is how it be. I feel much the same way. We wouldn't be here sitting here talking this shit if we had it all figured out and we're able to like. We're here because we have nothing figured out. We've realized that, dude.
Well,
I know that now.
The thing is that like if anybody knows anything about chaos magic, if your will for something is so great to change, the universe would create that change for you in any way, and that it could be negative. Like you wanted it so bad that there was no outlet for it. So like there was no like something had to happen, and in this case it was my hand, because like there's things I wanted to change in my life so much, and I changed my life. All right.
I've been punching walls today too. I was punching walls just today, so
It is what it is, man. Like,
you're right. There's no outlet. It's got to come out somehow. I have every intention. I don't know, man. I have every intention of making some shit work. 'Cause I can't do this fucking stupid bullshit anymore. I can't do it. It sucks dick.
It's just a little hiccup right now. It's something to humble myself, but all of this is a journey, and nobody's alone in this. All right, if you're listening, we're all gonna make it, bros.
It was once said that the universe loves courage. It reacts to courage by removing obstacles.
Yeah.
And that's it. I spent a lot of time talking to people about like what I aim to do, and in return, I'll hear like, "Oh, that can't be done," and it'll be literally shit I've done before. And it's like that kind of self-defeating attitude. It's once again projection. Every time.
It's like an excuse, because it's like if you really want it done, you'll find a way to do it. You know. Like nothing's really out of our grasp when we think about it.
We got Pollock in the chat shitting on reality right now. I hear ya. I'm not an emo kid because I was abused or anything. I'm an emo kid because I've always known that reality is the fakest shit ever. Super fake.
You fell through a deck, like you were hanging out on the deck and you fell through it.
I'm trying to figure out what part of that, where you got that from.
I'm reading this fucking comment right now.
Yeah, Pollock did fall through a deck. Yes, he broke his foot.
Oh, shit.
Now there's some spooky magic, and that's the thing. Is like we got to counteract this shit with the good vibes. It's like I smashed my tooth into pieces. It hurts right now. While I was out in PA at the festival, got back. Flame's hand is busted. Pollock's foot is busted. Another dude in the Discord had a stroke. What the fuck? So we got bad juju right now. We got to atone for that. So if anyone wants to put any money in the collection plate, feel free.
Yeah.
I haven't activated my insurance card yet, dude.
I'm over here still waiting on Obamacare. Motherfucker. Where's this free healthcare, dude?
Dude, that guy charged me
Free
$700 for not having healthcare. He's a joke. I'm glad he moved back to Kenya, dude.
This shit don't make sense.
I don't miss him. It's not like I miss him or anything, dude. Get out of here. Go back to Kenya.
I thought he was gonna be in Hollywood. And he's like, alright, I'm the famous president now.
Oh, nope. He's the village idiot in Kenya. Got him. That's another thing. The only political take I ever want to make on this fucking stream is that all politicians suck. Every government sucks. They all suck. I don't care who your favorite politician, dictator, whoever it is comes. If you came back, you wouldn't have a girlfriend. He wouldn't give you a girlfriend. I'm sorry. All governments suck. All politics suck. It is poisonous, and it is literally walls. Now that's the thing, is like the people who are like pulling the strings here, actual dark magicians. Legitimately, literally dark magicians. They are casting spells to build walls between you and your neighbors to confuse you. They know how this works. They understand it. They're dumb enough to think that they can get away from their karmas. No. They actually have more problems than we do. Yep. That's why I don't know about people who are all into, like, alchemy, and they're like, well, first you fucking suck the mercury into your penis, and then you suck your gut out like this, like that, and then you fucking meditate for 6 hours under a fucking supermoon, and it's like, dude. Settle. I don't know what any of this shit's supposed to accomplish. And now, like, some Buddhists will say that, you know, immortality is a goal because you want to reach enlightenment in this life. You want to break out of the cycle in this life because it's not guaranteed or even likely at all that you will get another birth as a human anytime soon. What I say to that is, I'm fucked anyway. I'm totally fucked here. Totally fucked.
I mean, but the thing is, it's like that's the crazy thing, is that like people have these stories of being reincarnated. It's very often like my mother has actually told me his stories. I have my own stories. I have strange dreams. You know, like these ideas, man. Like, how often is it that? Is it more like a divine soul is what carries on in a human? But sometimes the Buddhists say that soul is transferred into a monkey. What is the difference between these souls? Is there any difference? I think they're in the Bible. It says that there is. But yet again, the Buddhists
not really. The Bible says there's different kinds.
The spirit goes into the earth.
Yeah, that's the thing about the Bible, though, is that the Bible says very little about an afterlife. It talks a lot about you going to the grave, where all people go. I don't know if that negates... I don't know. I don't see hell when I look at the Bible. I spent too much time looking at my concordance. I realized that every time you see hell in the Bible, it is like 5 different words. It's like 5 different words. The word hell, where did this word come from? Like... It was, I'm pretty sure it was a Norse thing. There was a god, hell, or goddess or something. I don't remember. And it was the same name as the underworld, much like Hades. Yeah. So why don't they use the word Hades if the Greek is going to be closer in time and space to the New Testament? Well, because if they use the word Hades, you get fucking confused. Right? He's not talking about Greek gods. He's literally... When you see Hades, when Jesus is talking about that in the Bible... That is just a synonym for Sheol. Sheol means grave. You go to the grave. Do you think Jesus was sitting there saying you go to Hades and there's like this Greek god there, it's the river of Styx? No. No, the word's all screwed up. A lot of the time he wasn't saying Hades. He was saying Gehenna or Tartarus. All with their own meanings. Gehenna being basically like an ancient waste dump where they would just like burn bodies and refuse, and dogs would eat stuff. So it's just, you're just living in misery and blindness and filth. Tartarus being darkness. You are away from God. The darkness is away from the light. You are separated from God. I think these are states of being largely. I think Hades and Sheol are talking about the grave, dying and going into the earth. These other words, these are states of being, I think. And I think hell can be experienced on any world, any plane of existence, any dimension, any planet, anything. Hell can be anywhere. There's people on this earth right now going through hell. And when I say hell, I mean hell. I don't mean they're going to work and they're like, trying to support their kids. Dude, there are people, there are women right now probably locked away in some rape dungeon. Maybe for the past 15 fucking years. Right? What the fuck does it take for that incarnation? I don't know. But I do think there's karma involved. I don't know. Now, back to, you're talking about like all these different souls. The Buddhists would say that you have no individual soul whatsoever. None. You don't exist in any way that can be, you know, proven by logic or science or anything. You don't exist, is what Buddhists would say. So it's like, are we all sharing this karma? I think that's definitely part of it. I don't know about how all of these specifics fall into place. But like, I do think I am sharing my burden with everybody I'm dealing with. And when I make their life worse because I'm having a bad day, like, that's what that is. And we all pay for it. I think this is why it's important that we try to help people be better people. And it's never by pontificating like we're doing here. But this is the place for pontificating, so.
Yeah. Sped was asking if we seen The Holy Mountain. I think we should check that movie out. It's very artsy. I would like to see it.
I know of a book called The Holy Mountain. I'm curious if there's any connection. It's a pretty vague phrase,
probably.
but yeah, it's a book that I've always wanted to read and never got around to. Pollock says, my healthcare is like puking on a pile of shit. Now, I came to the realization recently that we have subscription-based healthcare. I made a joke about subscription-based things. We do. Thanks, Obama. It makes me sad. Fun Guy says, Alejandro Jodorowsky. How do you say that? Is great. You will love him. I'll have to check it out. Literal shit can be transmuted into gold, Fun Guy says. Now, here's the thing about shit. Here's the thing about alchemy. Here's the thing about transmutation, dude. You have only attained when you can eat your own feces and love it. You love the food. You love the food you ate. It's going through you. You love yourself, right? You're a great guy. You're a swell guy. The only thing standing between the food and the shit is you. What part of the shit don't you like? What part of it? And this is our everyday. This is what we live every day because it's all the same shit. It's like you got to enjoy that shit knowing that you're going to poop it out in the end. You're going to have to eat that shit. You're going to do it all over again tomorrow, dude. You're going to have a great time and you're going to have a miserable time. And it's just going to keep going, dude. That's why I have a dung beetle tattooed on my leg. Because every day I roll that ball of shit uphill just to eat it. And enjoy it.
Shit.
So that's transmutation. When that shit becomes something so beautiful that you just can't help but devour it. Every bit of it.
And you know, like the thing is, like, we want to also like take these mystical like ideas and make them more accessible. Like, for instance, like somebody keeps on talking about alchemy. You know, like the Philosopher's Stone is like something that we all have. A lot of people don't really understand it, but it's like this thing that we all do have. It is what turns lead into gold.
Well, it is, as the Freemasons say, it's squaring the circle. And what do they say? They also make making good men better or something like that. That is the esoteric teaching at the end of the day. Now, it's like, it's real easy to pervert that. You let someone in, you give them some esoteric knowledge. Whoa, dude. Dude. You lift them up in society a little bit. You make them feel like they are becoming better, and then you make them a pawn in your, massive web of lies and propaganda.
Your Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
And the Freemason Ponzi scheme.
I've never met a Freemason who actually seemed to know what he was talking about. I'm sure some of them do, but something tells me it's above the Freemasons where shit's going on.
A lot of them are fucking squares. Dude,
squaring the circle. There's squares. That's their bit.
I went over to TikTok, Freemason and low energy characters, dude. No, like there's no Vril. Their Vril is at 0.
Well, that's like just modern mysticism and magic, honestly. It's a bunch of dweebs.
No. I mean, like in our shit, we're about to be a lot more eccentric, a lot more. We want people.
I'm a schizo weirdo. I am. I'm fucked up on chemicals. I don't know. It's real.
Like the thing is like we do want to make like shamanism, like counseling and stuff like that accessible to people who
counseling. I would never call it that.
No, I mean,
Flame's all about being a trip sitter. He likes trip sitting. I, for one, would rather not. I don't know. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna stand. Like hey, are you high yet? Hey, are you feeling it yet? Do you feel it yet? Are you stoned yet? Is it kicking in yet? What do you see?
I like the idea of facilitating transcendental experiences. But like that's not really what it really, like, people need like some guidance sometimes. That's also a thing about like fucking tribe, is that you got people that you could count on and shit.
I've tried to help people through trips. In my experience, it really.
It's not trips, but
well, no, but that is kind of part of
what
we're talking about, though. Maybe. I don't know what advice I got on that, dude. Try suck the dick harder. I don't know. But there's 3 types of people who fucking take psychedelics, from what I can tell. That you give psychedelics to, at least. There's the guy who just parties on it and just has a good time. And that's like all that happens. There's nothing like interesting or introspective or mystical or anything that happens. They just party on it. They just have a good time on it.
Yeah.
There is the guy who like melts the fuck down. Literally thinks they're dying. And like, they'll be begging you to fucking call 911. Yeah. And yeah, then there is us, the fucking shaman weirdo, dude. Starts having visions and saying fucking stupid shit way too loud at the party. Sped in the chat says the Shriners are on some deep esoteric shit, brah. I'm sure some of them are. I know they're basically like the retired Freemasons, essentially. I like
the Shriners are the money makers of the Freemasons. They're the motherfuckers. I
like their hats, cool hats.
They be raking in the fucking dough for the Masonic lodges.
I like the all of the Egyptian imagery that they have going on. It's almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Like Moorish imagery. Like it's the same thing I see when I look at like the Moorish Science Temple and like black movements, which seems to have sprung from like probably the Prince Hall Lodge of Freemasonry. Sped says, I've been all 3 types of fucking drug users. I'm like, I partied. Don't get me wrong. I partied and had a good time, but like, I am having visions of the Mother Goddess.
I think obtaining mystical knowledge, literally downloading shit that you shouldn't even know, is a lot more awesome than having like I'm fucking drunk as shit. Like, nah. No, dude. And even like when I go to the festivals, dude, like I don't drink and shit. I know that sounds weird to some people, but like I don't even be getting that fucking crazy. Like I would have like me like a specific cocktail of fucking LSD and stuff like that. I try not to use shrooms like as like a party thing because it's like there's like an idea of respect with like the sacraments like within shamanism. So
I get lethargic
that.
on mushrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to drink beer the entire fest, nonstop. Most definitely. I like if the guy we're camped next to is making Bloody Marys in the morning. Look, it's delicious. It's good for me. I haven't eaten enough anyway. A man can't live on cocaine and ketamine alone.
That's true.
Yeah, Sped says hard for me to party on shrooms. That's how I feel too. That's how I was at the fest. I was pretty sedentary at that point.
Right. Yeah, that did happen. Like I think everyone was seeing shrooms during the what was it? Hoodoo fucking was on stage. Was that his name?
Oh, that was my favorite. I was having a great time at that point.
For real? Dude, I felt like everybody went so hard like the first few days, and when he came around, it was like it wasn't. We weren't going that hard.
I think I was at my peak at that moment. Yeah, there's still a funny video floating around somewhere of me, Matt, Cab, Doro, all just in some shitty tent, all high on mushrooms, huffing nitrous oxide, like just making a mess and fooling around. It is such a nonsense video, but man, I'm glad to have it one day, that's for sure. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like to do psychedelics. Also like to drink at fest. Also like to fuck, man. I'm a crazy person. You put it in front of me, we'll see what happens. I can say that. Then you put a knife in front of me, I'll swing it around, give me some limes, cut them up. And that is one thing, is tequila definitely can kick off a night. Huh?
Make some Moscow mules.
There's some, one of the coolest things about fests is there's always DMT floating around. That's like not something you can normally say, but it almost always is at fests.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't like doing them at fest. I like doing them in like very quiet environment.
Yeah. Sure. Well, it's not the opportunity most people receive, unfortunately.
That's true.
Now, we were talking
to be
about...
honest, my very first time with DMT, I did not buy it. I bought it at the festival. I did not take it at the festival. I took it home, so I can't do that.
I bought like a gram of DMT from the deep web with Bitcoin back in the day,
damn.
way back when.
Dude, I wish I could relive that memory.
Good shit. So we were talking about drug laws in Canada earlier. So shrooms are like gray area now. You can basically do them. Now, repercussion of that, you can go online if you're Canadian and buy 4-ACO DMT. Orally active DMT.
Yeah.
It is so good. It is the gold standard as far as I know. So if you're a leaf out there, dude, it's going to be expensive. Go buy it. Gold standard. It's so good. You're supposed to measure it out. I didn't. Had a blast. It was sold back in the day as an analog of psilocybin mushrooms, but it has a totally different character. It has the character of DMT. I got the serpents and the dancing naked women in my vision at the peripherals, which is such a DMT thing. I smoke DMT. I see the mother goddess. Period. So. Now, I'm thinking if you got orally active DMT in 4-ACO, that's basically ayahuasca powder, right? And I've never done ayahuasca, but it sounds like it. Because what ayahuasca is the plant that contains the DMT, plus another plant that contains an MAOI. You put them together, suddenly the DMT is orally active. Well, this shit, you just eat like some of it, or snort it, maybe, if you're an idiot like me.
Oh damn! If you snorted, did you have to drip?
Yeah.
Did you get the so like was it?
It burned, dude. That shit burns.
Was it a long ass experience? How long was it?
5 hours. You get 5 hours. It's like mushrooms. It's comparable in that way, definitely. Now, I was sitting there. I was doing key bumps. I was just doing key bumps in front of my Shiva tapestry until I was just playing games with God. God was in my room, messing with my head, and it was a lot of fun. Sped in the chat says, DMT felt like acid times 10. Elaborate on that. That sounds like a weird way to say that. Because it's a totally different experience. So you smoked it and you broke through? Is that what you're talking about?
Maybe like visually it probably means that. But like the thing about acid is that like there is no inhibiting of motor functions like DMT does, which is pretty surreal.
Yeah, it's weird to even say like like motor function inhibition or whatever. It's like not even really that. Like you just you go through to another dimension, dude.
You don't like you never felt like the sensation of time slowing down.
No, I have, but I also can't imagine like getting up and trying to go about my business.
You never done that either?
On DMT?
Yeah.
No.
Alright, you should experience that.
No, that's what fucking 4ACO is for.
The thing is like, I got a dab rig, so like I would throw some in there, and like I would like move something around the shit. Like it would literally be like the only way I could really fucking explain it is like bullet time in some fucking video game. It's
Dude.
like shit, just like it's like I'm trying to move. My mind is moving a lot faster than my body actually is. But like
I know exactly.
Yeah.
It's funny. Now, I was fucking around with this voice mod. I feel like I was reproducing the sound. I was saying that the other day while I was doing this. So I feel like it's almost worth trying to do. I don't know if my bass
like what sound like when you break through?
Yeah, man, when reality falls apart and it's like it's not a sound. It is a vibration in your fucking brain. And I guess there's a sound element to it, but like describing the sound is weird.
I think vibration is like the correct way because like you do like feel it like throughout your whole body. Like,
dude,
it starts in your head and it like goes throughout.
Oh, hell yeah. And I was hitting a fucking DMT pen recently, a little fucking vape.
Dude, we gotta fuck with vibrations. That's what they
well, I like it. I like it. I was hitting this little fucking DMT vape, and it wasn't enough to fucking to break through. Unfortunately, I tried pretty hard, but it was enough to get like that vibration through my entire body. Like it's just clearing out my chakras or some shit. I don't know, bro. I don't even know how to describe. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what's happening. It feels so fucking good. Oh man, I love that. Just thinking of that moment where all sound and image, all material you're looking at, all just breaks down. And it's nothing but colors. Now, when that happened to me, there was a hole at the end. And I'm like flying through a fucking wormhole at this point. I shoot out through my head, essentially, into the wormhole city, dude. Into Wormholesville. I'm a worm warrior, dude. And I'm flying through this wormhole, and I'm getting to the hole at the other side. And I'm thinking,
bro.
I specifically think to myself, I remember thinking, man, I don't know if I want to go in there. Well, I had no choice in the matter because it felt like some other thing, some force basically reached through the hole and pulled me through. So I'm laying on this fucking slab, essentially, from like my own perspective. I'm laying there, looking up at this dome. It's been talked about a lot. Terrence McKenna would talk about this shit. It was a fucking dome. It was churning purple, silver, blue, black, churning colors, dark colors, churning. And in front of me appeared the most beautiful being I've ever seen, just made of the jungle. It was the most beautiful woman. She was wife, mother, daughter, everything to me. It was the earth. It was woman as the earth as woman.
This is what happened on your last trip.
This is my first DMT trip.
Oh, their first.
I was tripping balls already on 25I N-Bohm. And then I'm like, I'm not tripping hard enough, and I broke out the DMT. So yeah, I'm laying there, and this is the most beautiful entity I've ever seen. The most beautiful thing I've ever seen comes to me. Just this beautiful woman made of vines and trees and leaves. She's like holding out her hands, just showing me things made of light, beautiful things I can't even comprehend. She goes away. I get buried by all of like the dirt and bones and everything that's ever existed, man. And like in that dirt, I see a flower bloom. That dissipates. Off in the distance, I see something coming at me. As it gets closer, it's a giant fucking snake. And fucking, it's like coming towards me like it's gonna fucking eat me. Right as it gets to me, it turns back into the beautiful mother goddess. And she kisses me, like right as I come out of it. And then, like, I'm like ranting. I'm like done with my fucking breakthrough. And I'm like ranting and raving like a crazy person in my room. Till like this other dude just like sitting there watching me in total shock. And I can see her like winking and smiling at me through the folds in reality, in the grain of wood, in the pattern on the floor, just everything. I could see her face just playing with me, saying goodbye. This is saying I love you, mocking me, supporting me in every way. All these things. That was my first DMT experience. That was the best one. And it's been since then that I've seen serpents and dancing women in my peripherals whenever I'm doing anything that's like DMT-ish. Scar asked, bro, how did you survive? It wasn't easy. Eventually the drugs wore off.
But in the meantime, you must witness. You must witness its glory without going mad.
Now this actually, it takes me to my more recent experience on all those mushrooms in the hotel room. I was kind of losing my shit, and I don't know what losing my shit is to me. I was fine. I knew I was fine. I wasn't, but I was having visions, essentially, of women mourning deaths of children. I'm having these visions in my mind. And it's not like one of those things where it's like, I can't stop thinking about it, I'm having a bad trip. Like, I knew what I was looking at. And it was that woman is Earth. She is the Earth that bears the tribe. Right? And, like, you are the God that seeds that Earth. So any crime against the Earth is a crime against all women and all of us who are the children of the women, meant to use the resources and the good things of the Earth. All crimes against the Earth are crimes to all women and all men. But then all crimes against women, any crime against a woman is a crime against the entire Earth itself and all of creation. And now, like, I'm understanding the female aspect versus the male aspect. Woman is the God who bore you into Earth. You were born onto the Earth by a woman. You drank the milk of a woman. That's why the cow is holy, because you drink its milk like it's your mother. The Earth is woman, and it is the absolute reality, the objective reality that is man, God, that seeds the Earth. It is between the two of them, the man and the woman, Osiris and Isis maybe, that Horus, the man god, the god man, is born on Earth. The true divine works of God are created through that. Through that balance that's found in nature, in humans, in everything you see, in everything. Fun Guy says, I got sucked into the wormhole on Salvia in 2009. There's a multi-dimensional grasshopper that's also a living cathedral inside. Alright, that's heretical. If anything's heretical, that's heretical.
So, like, so it was a grasshopper, and you went inside the grasshopper and you found the cathedral?
No, the grasshopper is, well, it is the cathedral. You didn't have to go inside it necessarily. It reminds me of DXM experiences, high level fucking Robitussin chuggins. So that people would often talk about mantis people that they would see.
Dude, I mean, to be honest, like I love when I do meditations like on LSD or well, for more, it's always usually LSD. The cathedral like mind mind. I don't know how to explain.
Dude, I will see cathedrals be built and be destroyed in front of me over and over again, rolling through.
Just like going, and every once in a while, I'll even get a mosque one. Mosques, yep. I've
sometimes it's symbols. It's always like religious stuff and architecture and.
Dude, I've never been to a mosque, but I could tell you, I bet they're beautiful, dude.
You never Googled like pretty mosque? Because there's a lot of good pictures. There are. It's very easy to find. And I used to go on 420chan back in the day with Kurt, who's like a fucking like CIA plant or whatever the fuck. He was like the guy who owned it. But it was 4chan, but specifically for drugs. They would always post like there would be the trippy picture thread or whatever, and it'd be full of mosques. Yeah. Yeah, dude. Feds watch it. Post there. Yeah, Ernest visits the DMT elves. We're seeing in the chat by Jake.
Ed Dora on that photo edit.
The hell are you talking about?
The Ernest meets the elves, the machine elves.
Wait, that's not. But that can't be the name. No, it's Ernest Trips Balls. Right? That fits the theme.
A bunch of machine elves around him. And he's like looking up at the camera.
That was pretty funny, dude. Hey, Vern! I got some DMT off the dark web! Joe Rogan sent it to me.
Ernest video.
I gotta get the fucking the Ernest voice modulator now. It's high on the list of shit I need. All right, we want to talk about. We talked about Salvia a little bit. You want to? Let's read this fucking thing. I'm gonna read this fucking thing.
All right.
All right. I got a trip report from Erowid, dude. We got the experience vaults at it again, dude, and we are bringing it way back. I don't know if you noticed, dude. In the video that I've been playing in the intro behind me, it's like a lot of old school videos, a lot of shit that fucking reminds me of like 2010 YouTube. Up here in the corner where the music's playing, you see the Winamp player. Yeah, we're using Winamp, dude. I got these songs playing now. Later I'm gonna be listening to fucking, I don't know, Freak on a Leash by Limp Bizkit, because that's how I downloaded it off Napster, dude. Yeah.
Napster still exists.
I don't know. It's probably a subscription based service now. Where was I? So yeah, now we're going to Erowid, man, where we used to go back in high school to figure out how much Robitussin to drink. We're taking it way back, dude. All right. An alternative life. Dose 4 hits. Smoked Salvia divinorum. Body weight 160 pounds. Not a large individual. What can I say? Shouldn't have smoked that much Salvia. Do you have any experiences on Salvia before I get into this?
Yeah, I've had a few experiences with Salvia. Nothing on this kind of level. Like, I want to know what he was taking, what brand, and all that kind of shit.
What brand? What strain?
Yeah, I want everything, dude. I want to know everything.
There's different strain of Salvia, dog.
Yeah, I've never had any of that shit happen.
My experience with Salvia is essentially, on the doses I've taken, you forget where you are, who you're with, how to speak, that you took any drugs at all. It's like on Gilligan's Island when you get hit in the head with a coconut. It's like that. Now, I don't know. I feel like when I did it, I was young. I was probably like 18. I feel like I might have been fighting it too much to actually appreciate the real experience, because I've done like, your 32X, and I've also smoked straight leaf and sat there puffing it. Now, one experience was very cool. I was smoking the leaf and I just puffed. I was puffing and chiefing on that fucking shit. I was sitting in my homie's car and his fucking dashboard opened up into a motherfucking yellow brick road, motherfucker, surrounded by flowers on all sides. And like I was still tripped out. I was all fucked up. I didn't really know where I was because I was reaching for things, because things that seemed so real right in front of me, just reaching, trying to touch them. It was beautiful, not very impactful in any way. But then my homie smoked it, and I'm watching this dude after he hits it, like in his chair, like trying to crawl away from the, I guess, the windshield, what he's looking at in front of him, whatever he's seeing in front of him. He's trying to crawl backwards into his chair. And like I said, I was very young at this time. I was like 18 when I was smoking Salvia. And I was like, what are you seeing? What are you seeing? What do you see? Like, while he's still tripping. Exact thing you don't want to do. Eventually, he comes out of it, dude. And he told me that there were a bunch of like people outside the car who were like surrounding it, saying, "We're trying to help you. We're trying to help you." It's horrifying. How do you interpret that? Interpret that one, dude. It's painful to even think about, really. Is that his ancestors? What? Who are these people? What is going on?
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I never had anything that hard. Like, I tripped ass and heard like voices and like animate objects. Like, I feel like animate objects would be talking, but like nothing like whole alternate life and shit like that.
All right, let's get into this report, dude. Hi, I'm a 19-year-old male who is choosing to write about my last Salvia experience solely because I believe that it has been the most mind-altering experience that I've had with the herb. Over the last few months, I've become extremely experienced in the usage of Salvia divinorum. Yeah. I have used the herb at least 200 times. Yes, that's a lot more times than most people probably think I should have used it. But I really considered this herb as something that accepts me with open arms every time. I've never heard anyone say that about Salvia divinorum. Usually they say, man, I gotta smoke this because I have piss tests. Anyway.
Dude, you really have resorted to, like, you just have to smoke something.
Dude, things were bad back in the day. You couldn't just go to the gas station and find things to get you high. You had to, like... And Salvia was, like, the only legal high that actually worked.
I remember when you could just go to the gas station and get that pack, and it was that crazy K2 or, like, some crazy black magic.
I smoked very little spice. I accidentally ordered some, not realizing what I was ordering. It was like spice hash, which was horrible because like normally when when you're smoking hash, you're like, is it done yet? I don't know, just keep fucking puffing it. It just goes on forever. Yeah. That's what this shit was doing, only you're not supposed to smoke that much fucking spice. It was fucked up. I was seeing spots. I was like, my heartbeat was going. I was like falling over, dude, sweating bullets. I was thinking to myself, I'm like, dude, if this goes on for another half hour, I have to go directly to the emergency room. It passed in about 10 minutes.
That's crazy. What did you do with it? You smoked all of it?
Yeah, I think I did. I just knew don't go so hard next time. I think what I did was I started putting it in bowl packs with like real weed. So it's just like I'm smoking real weed, but like a little something else in there, dude.
Visions. You're smoking your visions.
It's true,
you seen
dude.
How High? I mean, not How High. What's that movie? Your Highness?
No. I've seen How High.
Your Highness.
So, since... What?
No,
Is it worth recollecting? Should I pull up the trailer?
Yeah.
I won't do that. Since I turned 17 to the age that I am now, I have tried mushrooms, acid, cocaine, ecstasy, DXM, Salvia divinorum, wild daga, jankum. What else is there?
Your homie said janko.
Yeah, he said jankum. When I do drugs, I'm usually either trying to learn or realize something, or I'm just trying to get high.
Recipe.
Haha, he put haha, period. But it really depends on what I'm using. With Salvia, I feel like I'm trying to learn about the possibility of things beyond our own reality. Now,
Salvia shaman.
This is 19-year-old shaman over here, dude. This guy knows it all, dude. He's smoked Salvia 200 times because his mom was piss testing him. Now on to the experience. About 3 days ago, I was in my bed at about 9:45 p.m. I decided to wait until 10 p.m. to take my dose of Salvia. I loaded my large pipe with Salvia leaves. This is written so gay.
Salvia.
Anyway, during this time, I filled my head with calm thoughts, and then I waited for my starting time. I knew that I would only need to take 3 to 4 hits of regular leaf to reach the level 4 to 5 range. Level 4 trip incoming! Ah! Christ. This is because my tolerance to the herb has tremendously dropped over the hundreds of previous usages that I've had. At 10 p.m., I took 3 large tokes and saw that there was still a little more, so I finished it with 1 small toke. After taking the dosage, I knew I was in for something that was going to be powerful. I sat and waited for about 20 seconds. Then I was immediately in the experience. When I say in the experience, I mean that I had completely gone in a level 5 trip zone, baby. My reality was completely gone. we got these on drugs over here. This dude's, he's seeing spots over here.
Level 5.
Decontamination. Seal off the entrance. I was in a new reality. I've had this happen many times before, but this is basically what happened again. In the reality I was now a part of, I was a newborn alien baby. I'm not exactly sure if I started out as a newborn, but during this experience I literally went through almost the whole life of this alien. This is a very hard thing for people to understand when they haven't had an experience like this, but I basically lived a whole other life in just 3 to 8 minutes, although I literally experienced this whole other life from the beginning to the end. I felt like it lasted around 100 or 200 years. In this life there was no connection between the real me and the me that was an alien. As this new alien life form, I lived in a world that consisted of green people that were made of skin that felt oily and slippery. We communicated in a way that was without words. It was like we were all psychic, but we were all allowed to choose what thoughts we wanted to send to one another. A funny thing about this community was that we all interacted with each other to gain higher knowledge, to make a living, etc. But there was no sense of emotion in this world. We felt that it was important to be important and to live, but the idea of humor, revenge, anger, etc. didn't exist. It sort of felt like everything was just business with one another. Now I've already explained a lot how this world worked, but I really feel like I haven't even begun. This world was similar to ours, but in many ways completely different. Some things, like family, still existed in this world. I actually had an alien family in this world. In this alien world, I'm not an incel. I actually have a wife, but she's in another dimension. You wouldn't know her, dude. Never heard of her. It consisted of my mother and 3 other beings that lived with me. This was a family of 5. Now after the experience, I think back and it scares me. The family of 5 was, real or not, a family that was loved by me. The emotion of love comes somewhat weird in that reality, but in that reality it was understood that you stay with your family, and they were like the other parts that made you complete. Sort of like how things are in real life. I had a name in that reality, in that world, in that extremely mind-altered state, whatever you want to call it. But the point is that reality was to me just as important as the real world. There were a lot of events in this reality that I found to be important moments of life, and I really feel like writing about them, so I'm going to. There was one moment in this reality that I remember being elected as one of the important aliens. In this reality, I'm an important alien. I matter, dude. I don't like to say important aliens, but I don't know how exactly to say what I was elected as. This is just basically what it meant, sort of. I was an alien that was considered to have some importance. There were some aliens in this existence that were also considered to be worthless. I imagined that it would be hard being these aliens, but I wasn't that low on the chain. Although my importance was quite sad in this life, because I was supposed to accomplish great things, and I was respected by most aliens. But the problem about this life was that I wasn't able to actually accomplish as much as the other aliens expected me to. For this, I eventually ended up not having respect from the other aliens of this planet at all. Being thought of as special and important in this existence was good in the beginning, but after I basically failed at this life, I was ridiculed by the other aliens of this planet for being unsuccessful. Although in this life, your life was still worth living, even without any respect at all. But the thing about being unsuccessful was bad to some degree. This sounds like Japan. Eventually, after I had literally lived for about 100 or 200 years' time, which felt like the same pace of time as the real world, I suddenly realized that I had taken some sort of drug. This put me in a huge state of shock. My mind from the real world was suddenly being put in front of me like it was the truth, and this alien life I was living was all just a short span of time in another reality. Then I had some really awkward moment of suddenly finding myself in my bed where I had originally taken the Salvia. I sat there for about an hour in fear that I would suddenly realize something else again, like I had taken part in some sort of experiment or something that made this happen to me. This is to say that I still thought I was the alien life form. After about an hour, though, I was able to accept that I wasn't going to slip away from reality again, and I realized that I was under the influence of Salvia when I had my alien life experience. Days after the experience, I still seemed to feel like this reality seems somewhat fake, though. I like being here, and I'm glad to be alive, but nothing seems real. After the experience, I've noticed that eating seems like a brand new thing, and that I can't stop looking at different things everywhere I go. In the alien reality that I was in, everything generally was green, gray, and black. I think there were other colors too, but they were rarely seen. Although there is an extreme fakeness and newness to how I perceive reality now, for some reason, being here seems amazing. I was satisfied with life before this trip, but now I feel like I was born again at the age of 19. Everything is new, but I still know the knowledge of my past 19 years. I feel ecstatic about being alive now. That's a happy ending.
Sounds great, dude. Sounds like an interesting, enlightening trip.
Living one life absolutely sucks, I'll say that, but...
Well, hopefully he gained knowledge from that lifetime. Wouldn't that be interesting? To gain knowledge from your past lives. May it give you like some insight that some people just aren't used to.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, something like that, like, can that just be generated from nothing, as if it were nothing? Like, not even just saying it's a hallucination. Maybe it's a hallucination, but apart from that, like, does it say that none of these lives really matter, and it doesn't, it's, you know, do you have to go into, like, is this another dimension? Is this a planet? Is this Earth in another time period? Does that even matter so much? Or is this just, like, are these the plays that consciousness generates? I don't know.
It's, you have stories of reincarnation, or, like, people have, it's very hard to prove some of these claims, but there have been some cases where people had some weird coincidences.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely believe in reincarnation. That's the one thing that kind of sets me apart as, like, someone who talks about Jesus all the time. But once again, like I said, the Bible, what's most interesting about it is not what it has to say about the afterlife. It's what it doesn't say, which is, it says so little. So I don't know, when I like read the Gospel of Thomas, suddenly it fits in perfectly. It tells me, honestly, back to bitching about these early Christian sects that were stomped out. Like, I believe that some of these sects believe in reincarnation. I think there were sects of Judaism at the time. I think there's always been sects of Judaism that have believed in reincarnation. Some sects of Islam believe in reincarnation. Not many, but they're out there. I think this is always a thing when you get into the esoteric circles of religion. And I don't believe in reincarnation because, like, of my religion, because I believe in God, this or that. I believe in reincarnation because of how I see the material world and life and everything work. Things live, they die, they come back, the cycles. That's how everything works.
Yeah.
And my issue with Christianity, and that, not my issue with it, but like where I find that, like, the orthodox ideas kind of fall, is like, the Bible speaks of a kingdom where Jesus is at the head of it, everyone's resurrected, and nobody ever dies. Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense, dude. I'm not saying it couldn't be real, and, like, dude, it's not like I'm going to deny God's power or whatever. Anything could be. But in the world I see, that is never, ever, ever how things work. Things cannot just be immortal. You can't have every person who's ever lived just alive and walking around on Earth and never die. Not that it like couldn't be a life that could be lived. Is that a life anybody would want to live? Where is any of that going? I don't know. And maybe it's going to seed the stars, this or that. I've thought about different things. But at the end of the day, I feel like life can't exist without death, and material can't, exist without immaterial. Subjective can't exist without objective. And I think where things are many, they need to be made whole. That has to be part of the cycle. So I think it necessitates going back to the source and then returning to this sort of state again. Almost, it makes perfect sense to me. It's how evolution works, frankly. The same way that reincarnation and karma work is how evolution works in biology. It's totally decentralized. We're all a piece of God. You know what I mean? So in that way, like, he will always be there. And now, when you look at evolution in biology, so everything's from one source, essentially. All living things are from one source. This thing has decentralized itself into all of these different niches in order to make sure that it will always propagate itself. And some of these branches fall, other ones go on for a long time, then they fall. But the thing is, it's always working through it. It's always working through it. It's the same concept as, like, God is the river and we're each droplet. Now it's like, where does the drop begin and end? Where does the ocean begin and end? But it's like us living our lives are the rivers that are breaking through the material reality, carving it out constantly, only to return back to the ocean at the end of the day, one way or the other.
Definitely feel you on that, man. We're definitely just shards of a one whole. I have a lot of different views and stuff like that. One thing is the association with what Krishna would call, like, the eternal religion. This thing would be like something that's like interpreted. It's not really like written down, but it's like kind of like a rhythm of the universe.
That's why Hindus refer to Sanatana Dharma. It means the eternal way, or the eternal path. That sort of thing. And it's not supposed to be a religion. It can take many forms. It just is the way it is. And like that's the thing, is like, people have asked the question, is like, what would it be like to meet God? And it's like, you failed the test right there. You didn't realize that the only place you could meet him is like right within yourself. And it's like, you are always intimate with God. You are always right there with him in his embrace. Anything you touch, anything you see, wherever you turn, there is God's face. It's always there, and it's up to you to realize that it is within you. And if you can't see it within yourself, then you'll never see it in anybody else or anywhere else, not in any significant way. And that's why in the guru-disciple relationship in Hinduism, the disciple treats the guru as God. Not because the guru is God, or not because the disciple knows anything about who's God, how to worship God, how to do any of those things. It's because he has to practice it on something. He has to learn obedience somewhere. He has to learn that. By treating his guru as God, he will learn how to please, other people. That person will give him validation. He will start to see the God in himself, and he will realize that serving anyone is serving God, because we're all pieces of it.
Yeah, I think service is a big aspect of piety, like being able to do things for others that you don't expect to be paid for.
Well, that's what the Bhagavad Gita, the main Hare Krishna book, the point of it is that the only way to rid yourself of karma, or to negate karma, I should say, to stop accumulating karma, is to do your duty, without identifying yourself as the doer and expecting nothing as a result of the doing. In that way, you simply do your duty to the best of your ability. And it's for God at that point. Because the only place you can really find God is in the stillness, the silence. When you're thinking about, like, you know, why do I have to do this? Or I'm doing this for somebody. Or when you're thinking all those thoughts, like, it is only ego. So it's when you're doing it totally mindfully, mindlessly, however you want to say it. Like, practicing mindfulness, I think, would be the term. But you do it without identifying with yourself and expecting nothing as a result. And by doing that, no karma is incurred.
Yeah. So you have any stories of reincarnation? You don't ever think you got reincarnated? You don't remember anything weird?
Hard to say. I've had dreams, man. I've a lot of dreams that take place in the same place. They always take place. I'm doing the same general stuff in the same place. I know. When I think of it, it's imagery of like a futuristic looking city on like with a beach. It's like on the shore. It makes me think of like, I don't know, cyberpunk Miami or something like that. I don't know. There's like tubes that go through the ocean that people like use to get from point A to point B. I don't know. I don't know what to make of shit like that. I don't know.
Visions of the future.
I don't know. I don't know what it could be literally nothing, but it is weird that it's recurring.
I've you know, like I had I would say like a whole dream, like kind of like the story you told, like living a whole life, but it was as a dream. I was it was during the Middle Ages, during the plague, the bubonic plague. I grew up as a apothecary. I was a apprentice to somebody. We were here, you know, doing the healing for the people who were sick and stuff like that. But when it broke, when there were the outbreaks for the bubonic plague, there were the master. My master, he got the plague. He eventually passed away. And then there was like a couple years while I was you know, doing my best to heal people who were in my, I think it was like a town, and kind of more like a city. I guess like a city back then was how it was populated, but like eventually I got the bubonic plague.
Sucks to suck, dude.
Yeah, so like eventually, like after a while, like I was still doing my duty as a doctor, but eventually I got it and I died.
Right.
So, but yeah, so that was a pretty surreal dream.
I have a similar one. One dream I had, I swear I was in Egypt, and some fucking ruler was fucking dead. I don't know what happened, and it was some guy who cut my throat over it, and it like, I don't know, I don't know what the fuck, but yeah, dreams like that.
That's crazy, dude.
I don't know what to make of any of that shit. I think what's a lot more tangible, honestly, than garbage like that is I met someone recently that I was working with, and I only knew them for like 3 days, and it immediately like clicked so hard. Just fucking super good friends immediately. And yeah, it was like 3 days in, and they're like, "You've become like a big brother to me," and I'm like, and I totally agreed, and it was weird. I don't know. I don't normally, you know, click with people like that immediately. But yeah, shit like that makes me wonder. There's some sort of karmic bond. Sometimes I think that we're dealing with like the same people over and over again. Like we've only got these bonds with like a handful of other people.
I get
and
that.
Like we're living different roles. Like I don't know. If as someone who's the son now could become like, You know, the mother in the next one.
Yeah. That's how I feel like.
Yeah. What else chat got to say, dude? Lower chat here, dude. We give chat the collection plate. Yeah, dude. He out here having dreams, dude. Semi-vivid dream. Out in some bayou at night. Might have been hot springs. There were lights in the pools, dude. It's Lord of the Rings, really. You know, Fungifolium says, you gotta give money to the crackheads who ask for it at the gas station. Even though you're being scammed. But here's the thing. You don't give the crackhead money because he's you. You don't give him money because he's you. Because you know damn well what you do with that money.
The thing is like, I look at him, I'm just like, dude, I'm just one bad day away from being just like you. So
I need my 20 bucks, dude. If I don't have this 20 bucks, I'm going to be just like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the difference between me and him? It's 20. It's the 20 in my pocket, literally.
Yeah, for
Nah, you know what he's gonna do with that money. That's why you don't give him money. Someone sent me, what was it? Was it Jake? Sent me a video, a Salvia trip video. Now here's the thing. I gotta go easy on people doing drugs videos. I'm like editing this intro video. I'm like, I want lots of people doing drugs. I want people getting burned alive. I want this, I want that. It's like, this shit's not actually allowed on these fucking sites. So just maybe I'll do a play-by-play of the Salvia trip and upload it separately and start doing that. That's actually sounds like a lot of fun.
I gotta take some pain medication. I'm gonna be right back.
God, if only that could be me.
My arm hurts.
My tooth hurts. Give me some. Venmo me some pain medication. Christ.
I gotta snort the tramadol. I'll be back.
What a bummer, dude. Reduced to tramadol. Reduced to boofing tramadol. I remember back in high school, we'd eat like 40 tramadol and go to the punk rock show, dude. Yeah. Oh, well, he's gone. I'll talk about maybe some shit that I would like to do here. I would like to, like I said, I want to go more music-centric. I would like to, I don't know, like review the entire Pink Floyd discography. I think that'd be cool. It's very accessible. Everybody's heard all that shit. So, yeah, I think that'd be good content. I'd like to maybe browse live music, see what concerts are happening, what we'd like to go to, what we've been going to. Probably talk about that now, what the fuck we've been going to. Yeah, one thing is, if anyone knows, I want a chick who does astrology. I want a chick who will have her hands. And all you see is hands and cards. And she'll do astrology readings for you, the people. So if anyone knows the astrology person. And look, we got to think outside the box here. I'm just saying. I want to do like the basics of telling the future using crypto charts. So we'll wait till cryptocurrency is going wild, till everybody wants advice on crypto charts, and then we're gonna bust out how to use crypto charts to tell the future. Not even about crypto. Don't make money. Don't ever try to make money. You'll regret trying to make money. But I do think there's something to be learned in looking at those candlestick charts. So number one, you will learn how to read a fucking candlestick chart, which will actually be pretty useful to you. I think you might find at some point. It's pretty cool. Number two, figure out what them green and them red lines mean, dude. That is like, it's positive and negative emotions, essentially. And through that, maybe with some excerpts from the Kabbalion, through the two of those things, maybe we'll understand how things work, how the ups and downs occur, the ebbs and flows of reality, and maybe you'll know when things happen. Scar says never sell. I think that's good advice right now, is never sell, honestly. Right at this moment, yeah, never sell. Yeah, never sell could change into a probably sell down the line, but never sell for now. Never sell for now. Buy the dip and is it dipping right now? Yo, give me some information in the crypto scene. Should I pull up the charts? I don't really want to do that right now, but I would like to know. I know it was going up. I was expecting it to go up. I saw this coming in the charts themselves. No, it hit a pretty good bottom, and then it stabilized solid. It was going sideways for a while, which I actually thought was a good thing after it fucking dumped from 70 grand to like 16 or whatever. Sideways was probably good. You wanted to reconsolidate. You wanted everyone to look at what's going on and be like, all right, you know, major movement has stopped. We can start figuring this shit out. I think that's what happened. I think it hit a really good bottom. What's the value of crypto, really, dude? Fake internet money? Would you rather fake internet money or fake paper money? I don't know. At least we have cool charts and graphs, dude. With crypto, right? With fucking paper money, you look at those charts. You try to give a shit. Try to give a fuck since 1913. Just try. It is pretty erratic right now, but it was dipping. Let's fucking pull this shit up, dude. What's the price? Let's pull this shit up. $21. It's not erratic. It been 21, right? 21K? Yeah. This ain't shit, dude. This ain't shit for a veteran. Fuck. Yeah, go to coinmarketcap.com. Check this fucking graph out. I'll tell you a thing or two. We'll fucking zoom the fuck out on this. You see, we're on the 1 day chart, obviously. Alright, so it's been down from 23 on the weekly. It is up from 19 on the monthly. It's all green. If you go to the 3 month, it is up from what, like 17 up, yeah, 17 up to 21, staying solid above 21, staying solid above 21. There's some shit going on, not even going anywhere near below 21. Go to that yearly, you're looking at shit now. That's when the red hits. Let's hit that all time. If you hit the all time, go to that all time chart on that coinmarketcap.com, dude. That shit is looking sexy as fuck because you can see where shit went parabolic. When things initially went from like 10K up to goddamn 63K, and then later after dipping up to, what was it all? It was almost 70, right? It was just under 70. So then it like slowly dumped from that point to where we are now. But where we are now is literally the same spot that it initially went parabolic from. It's the same spot. It hit the resistance, and now it looks like it's bouncing back. I mean, anything could happen now, but when I'm looking at this chart, like, I don't know. If it dumped like that again, it would literally just ruin the market forever, probably. Not that that's unthinkable, but I think that's the less likely option here. And when we've had all of this like fear in the markets, everybody's been shitting their pants. They even wanted to touch Bitcoin with a fucking 10-foot pole for like a year. I don't know, man. That's the time it goes green, right? You're looking at the ebbs and flows in reality. Buy low, sell high.
What, things go back to normal? I hear the market is good. Which sucks because shit got hard on me. I had to sell all my.
I sold all my crypto at the fucking peak. I got very lucky in the way I did everything. I don't want to. It wasn't being and there is a sense of like generally knowing what's happening when things are this fucking parabolic, this fucking high. Well, maybe it's time to take goddamn profits. But all things considered, like I would say, I got very lucky.
You should do your own crypto class, or do a crypto stream or something. I don't know.
I don't want to do that because that's taken as like financial advice. Now, what I was just talking about when you went away to do your thing, I was talking about using crypto charts to help people understand how to tell the future, and using the Kabbalion quotes from the Kabbalion to kind of drive my point home. Looking at the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs.
Yeah.
I think there's something there.
I see. Well, to continue.
Hell yeah. So what fucking shows you been going to lately?
Me, the I've been going into the place, a little place they call the Crawl Space. It's an underground punk thing. It's literally in somebody's basement. But you know the scene is nice. The people dank as hell. Um, I, I mosh pits and shit like that. But the thing is it's not like the typical scene, you know.
I mean, typical.
I
It's a
don't
punk
know.
scene, right?
I guess like I don't really know what the audience listens to because like you know I'm just gonna assume like we all like punk rock music, right?
Hell yeah, it's true.
Well, no, but like the to be honest, like the shit is pretty fucking awesome, man. Having that shit close to home.
Yeah, I've been going to the Northeast fests during the winter. We got like indoor things, shit happening at bars, hotels, all sorts of fucking cool shit happening.
So like what's up with that the one that you showed me on Instagram? Like what was it the word that they're like hippie jam band?
Mum's the word. I'm a big fan of these guys. I like to catch them when they're around. Yeah, most
They're
definitely.
like what are they? It's like what kind of music is it?
It's a fucking, they're a jam band, and they started out when I was first hearing them. They were just like a kind of like like a bar band essentially. They were a good bar band, but just like a bar band. Then I've been seeing them lately, and then you know, these are guys who love the Grateful Dead and all that shit. But like, dude, seeing these guys live, it is just like some fucking rip roaring psychedelia, dude, just tearing the house down.
Or
It's hard to explain because it is very much hippie jam stuff, but like, yeah, dude, it's like a fucking buzzsaw
Yeah.
psychedelia to your brain.
I do like the punk environment though. I like the music, the energy. Like the camaraderie is fun as hell.
I don't really have any ins with that
The
sort of
biddies
thing,
there.
so I should probably get to that.
These are fun.
I want to
Dude,
start.
like I'm telling you, come down here.
Yeah.
Come down here.
You're gonna
And,
do it,
like,
dude.
like if I tell you that there's another show here, I'll tell you. It's up to you if you want to come down. Like I'll always make some time for you, you know.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
All right,
That'd
with
be
that,
sick, dude.
we got a lot of
Yeah,
good
we-
talking. I think we'll wind this down while we're ahead before I get fucking sleepy, dude. Still got more trip reports. I think going forward with this, we're gonna make it a weekly thing. God, I wish I could have a schedule lined up. I'm gonna try to fix that in the future. But yeah, I want to have like different segments. We'll do the mysticism paranormal thing. Do like fucking drug talk, trip reports, and do music stuff. We'll review some fucking music. I was talking about reviewing like the Pink Floyd discography. I think that'd be a really good thing to do.
I think doing like spotlights and maybe even have interviews.
Yeah, like we know some people. Once again, thank you to Alien Perspective for allowing us to use his stuff. Sirius Cyrus, Humble Among be out there. I'm trying to get some of his beats. He's a rapper, so I want like instrumental stuff, but he's got some stuff. I would love to have his, you know, content around. I want this to spotlight real artists. I'm tired of stealing other people's content, other people's shitty content, mind you, just to have it bite me in the ass when we have like people in these circles. That's what I'm saying. Gather or scatter, motherfuckers. Come together already, dude. We gathering. We just gathering. Woo woo, motherfuckers. Come on now. We got the homies now making content, dude. And that's all I really want, is to make that content. If you know anyone out there whose content I can feature, really content of any kind, I'll go through just artwork. I don't fucking care, dude. I would love to feature real artists. That's all I want to do. I only want to play music by people I like who have given me permission to use their stuff. That's what it's all about, dude. We gathering. We just gathering, dude. Alright. So, yeah, with that, catch you next time. Whoop.